that happened before? If you do, getting in and out fixes that problem. Yes, all good, fantastic. Welcome very warmly. In my native language, we say welcome from the heart. Witam serdecznie, which is what I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you from the heart to this space, which, yes, it's a virtual space, but it's a sacred space. I'm stood on sacred land and in Costa Rica, in a beautiful, beautiful location, supported by the ancestral spirit of this land and by my galactic team. So you may be able to feel the energy already. This is not going to be your average webinar or training event. This is an energetic transmission right from the start until the very, very end. The energies that I hold, the frequencies that I'm a keeper of, I'm going to share as much as you can feel can take today. Welcome from all parts of the world. Let me know for those of you who are here for the first time, or I can see some familiar names. So welcome to all the veterans too. Amy says hello from Kosovo. It's the first time someone's joining us from this part of the world. That's beautiful. Welcome, welcome, welcome wherever you're joining from. I know some of you, and hi from a very blustery UK, says Diane. Very, very, very warm welcome. Canada, Canadians, we're sending you so much love because you are literally trailblazing for humanity. So sending you lots of love too. And Romanian in London. Oh, okay, we've got an international company. My Australian friends are probably still asleep, will be catching on replay, but the warm welcome to you too. California, Sweden, awesome, beautiful. No, we've got an Australian here. Well, amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, may I approximately think how long it will take? I approximately scheduled around 90 minutes for this transmission, but time in the quantum doesn't run the same way, so we never know what will happen. This whole transmission is channeled. When I was putting the slides together, I opened up, and there is no fixed plan. I have a bit of a structure to keep me grounded on Earth, but I'm taking you to the quantum realm today, so it is a bit different. It is energetic, and this is the world that I want to introduce you to if you're new to it. The world of energy, the world of working beyond your mind, and this is what we're here for today. So in this live training and an energetic session, you will learn the exact process you can follow to shift out of any limitations. And I talk about any limitations. So it doesn't matter whether they're very physical. I give you an example. Just this morning, I've received a message from a client I worked with yesterday, who's a real estate agent. And there's literally nothing more physical than land and property. And she had flow of income blocked a couple of months ago, and she couldn't unblock it. And she's a very spiritually awakened person, and someone I taught her how to invest in property in the first place years ago, and now she's an agent. But flow of money stopped and flow of sales stopped, and we pinpointed energetically what was going on. Turned out that she changed direction. She was given some big opportunities to sell for big developers, whereas her heart was in serving individual clients, your average person who just wants to buy or sell their family home. And she got a little bit caught up in this big corporate client, and when she signed her first contract with them, her revenue dried. And then energetically, when we pinpointed why that was, and there was very specific reasons, we have unblocked it energetically and shifted her back to her path of alignment. And this morning she messaged me saying, for the first time for 2 months, I've literally this morning I've just sold a property in under my care, which is absolutely amazing. And so that's how it works. So it doesn't matter the physical reality you're in. It doesn't matter whether you're a tradesperson or whether you're a yoga teacher, or whether the problem is with income or with relationships. When we work energetically, this is how it works, and this is how mindset shifts don't work. So this is what we this is the realm where we're dealing with today. I'm going to show you some quantum technology you can use to set yourself up for abundance. And when I mean abundance, I don't mean there's financial abundance, although this is a beautiful realm when you can, enjoy freedom in income. But abundance is much more than that. It's vitality. It's peace, really. It's having relationships that are happy and not strained. So when I use the term abundance, I just mean an overflow of all the goodness. And this is what I want to share with you, because this is the earth where we headed to. This is the fifth dimensional earth. And this is the earth that we haven't known before, because resources, even love, has been withheld from us. Everything came with string attached, and everything comes with conditions and hooks and all sorts of things. Even our parents' love wasn't unconditional, but we are moving to a different realm. And this is the realm where I want to take you on a journey to today. I'm going to show you how to energetically work on your field beyond mindset. And this is something that I'm very passionate about, because for years I was using mindset tools. I was using all that personal development world had to offer. And guess what? I was still stumbling across the same blocks. And it actually, even though I was doing all the right mindset work and even manifesting and all of that, I ended up with a business that was completely out of alignment, and in the end went bust. And I was still unhappy, living under other people's expectations, even though I worked on mindset. So sometimes we work on mindset and we're asking ourselves, what's wrong with me? I'm doing all the right work. Well, if you're not working energetically, that may be the missing ingredient. So that being said, what I want you to do as well is I want you to experience the quantum realm. I want you to experience the galactic coded activation. And today I've got with me my Arcturian guides, my Lyran guides, as well as Lemurians. And I will guide you into a quantum expansion activation. So this is what's coming at the end. When you actually know how these energetic tools work, I want you to experience them firsthand, and I want you to soak in the fifth dimensional frequencies that will shift you into this expansive timeline. I'm not sure how much your field can take today, but my intention is that it takes as much as it's in your highest good. So to sum it all up, my intention for today is to share with you energetic tools that work beyond mindset, to allow you to shift through any limitations to create your most abundant life, whatever it means to you. And I want to start by asking you and taking you on a journey. I want to ask you a question, because this is where it all starts. It starts with a dream. It starts with taking yourself out for a second, out of your physical reality. I know that we come from different countries. You have different circumstances. Maybe some areas of your life you enjoy happiness. Maybe some you're blocked. Maybe you're even feeling a bit lost, or maybe you're feeling quite good. Wherever you are, I would like you to take a few breaths now. Maybe even close your eyes if you wish so. Or before you close your eyes, in fact, have a look at this slide. I put a door to a secret garden. And I want you to imagine that you stood in front of this door, and that behind this door is the life that you truly desire, the life that you came here to create as a beautiful soul. So go ahead now and imagine for a second, what would your most abundant life look like? And I want you to look through all the different windows. What would your relationship be like? Personal, family, romantic, friendships. Take a few breaths and just allow yourself to dream. You may see it, you may feel it, you may experience it in whatever way it comes to you. It can be just thoughts and ideas. But open yourself up to seeing the most abundant timeline in your relationships. Who would be in your life? What kind of friends? What kind of support circle? Then look through a different window. What is your expression looking like in your career or business? What kind of people you work with when it comes to your team, your colleagues, your clients? What kind of income is flowing into your life? And when you've got that, I want you to move through your health and well-being. How is your body feeling? What do you look like? What do you feel like? Do you think vitality? Maybe some illnesses that have been bothering you have subsided. And now I want you to look through a window of connection and contribution. What are you here to do on the planet? What is your passion? How are you feeling connected to the metaphysical world? Are they your guides around you? Do you communicate with them with ease? How are you helping humanity in our ascension process? And I want you to take a few more deep breaths and just feel into this most abundant timeline. And feel as if it's already a reality. And then when you're ready, you can come back and share some parts of your vision with us if you wish so, as we move on to discover the tools to make this vision your reality. So let me know what it looked like for you before we move any further. Don't know if you guys are still on the journey because I don't see any comments. So let me know you're back on Earth. Jessica says, existing on Earth to zero in unity, peace, and high vibrations. Yes, Earth 2.0 is, I think, a term that Arcturians shared with us in one of my husband Aaron's channeled messages. Aaron's with us behind the scenes, meeting people from all over the world, says Derek, connecting heart to heart. And Joe says, everybody has deep, meaningful relationships and strong connection with nature and the metaphysical world. Wealth is shared equally and communities are thriving. Graham says, brilliant healer and very rich. I love that, Graham. This is such a beautiful thing because a lot of people feel like spiritual and healer and rich doesn't go together, but it can. There's no reason why healers and spiritual people couldn't enjoy all the abundance. They do on other planets. And I love when Joe said that it's wealth is distributed equally. And this is on New Earth with peace, love, happiness, and doing my life mission, helping lost souls return to the light, which is something you've done yesterday during our session. So you're already living that reality. Amy says, lots of nature. And I love you guys saying about nature. There's already a second person here saying about the connection with nature. This is such an important part. And I'm here surrounded by my plants. So I'm a teacher and a healer, community living, happy and joyful relationships, easeful life, constant connection to my spirit guides to help others and myself. That's beautiful. Debbie says, lots of community and mutual empowerment, connecting to the special gifts, more fun. Sylvia says, I'm back in Africa helping people to connect with earth and nature. Sarah, sovereignty and full. I love the word full, Sarah. That's one of the things that my higher self told me last year, was that we're moving to the age of grace, the age of precision, the age of love, and the age of fullness. So that word full means a lot to me. The age of grace it's when we are graceful, not as an elegant, but graceful towards one another, where we treat each other with compassion and respect to the different processes and trajectories we are on. And fullness is when we're enjoying fullness on every level. Fullness is another word for abundance, I suppose. Renee says, hugging planet Earth, grid work, love with animals. Patty, traveling the world and taking nature, wildlife photos. That's beautiful. Oh my goodness me. Come to Costa Rica if you haven't been here. Lots for you to photograph. Having excellent communication with my guides. Lots of vitality. And I'm with my soulmate. Beautiful. Rachel says, I'm loving community, serving the world, abundant, wealthy, healing facilitator, helping to heal water. That's amazing. Brit, a place where energy is exchanged as currency and we're helping people heal and transition. We're definitely moving to this trajectory. Debbie says, grace resonates so much with me. Okay, so we know where we're headed on our individual trajectories, but look at what a beautiful picture it all creates together. This is the world where we can create. And the more people like us are holding these higher frequencies and those visions, and also clearing all that is holding us back from making those visions reality, the more gracefully we'll shift into it as a collective. So thank you so much for sharing your visions. I want to introduce myself because I haven't had a chance to do it. And some of you may know me, some of you may be totally new to my work. So my name is Ria, and I'm a galactic linguist, ambassador to star nations, various extraterrestrial races of beings of light that are supporting humanity to ascension process. And I'm a leading global expert on light languages. So this is my area of specialism. I speak multiple galactic light languages and terrestrial. I channel energies of the land. And pretty much I can express anything in form of a sound, any energy. And I can activate other people to do the same. My mission here is to activate star seeds mostly, but also when I asked my guides, my Arcturian guides, what is my next level of this mission is to lead people from 3D to 5D and not just help the awakened, like a lot of you are awakened, but also those who are awakening, to help them shed densities. And I do it mostly through the medium of business. I am 5D business strategist. So what I do is work energetically on business fields, because businesses have fields as well, to help people create career that they thrive on. But if we met a couple of years ago and I had to be honest, this is what my introduction would look like. I'm Ria. I'm a burnt out entrepreneur, trapped in other people's expectations, living out of alignment in an environment that I couldn't stand. This was me. And yes, I was doing all the mindset work. Yes, I was manifesting, I was meditating, and you know what? I was still as trapped as you could be. I had a big online brand in my native Poland. It was all going well, everything glossy on the surface. I also had an investment portfolio and a property business, which was all leverage, ridden with debt, employees that were stealing from me, investors that were breathing down my back for the interest. And it was meant to bring me financial freedom. That was what it was all about. It was all about creating passive income and financial freedom. But you know what? As I was doing it, I got caught up in other people's visions of what it looked like. Take debt, take leverage, borrow money, create a big empire, and just basically have a brand new car, which we did, and have a house, and then you'll be happy and have this passive income. But in reality, this life was as stressful as you can imagine. And during the worst of my burnout, I also didn't have any support. And I feel support is so important, because I remember there was this one Christmas where we literally hit rock bottom. We didn't have any real friends. We couldn't trust anyone. Our mentor, that was our best friend up until that time, turned against us, and we faced big disappointment. the only person really who supported us was my mum, because even Aaron's parents, literally, rather than offering us support, offered us judgment for our bad business decisions. And there was this Christmas where we spent Christmas alone with wondering how we're going to pay the wages for the staff that worked for us. And this is when I started to seriously meditate. I did that before, I was manifesting, but I had to find my inner peace, because this world was literally getting too heavy for me. And it was so stressful that I realized I don't like literally anything about my life apart from my husband and my dogs. That was the only thing I really liked, was our dogs and our relationship, which was under massive pressure. I didn't like where I lived. I lived in South Wales in the UK. I really didn't enjoy the weather. I didn't particularly enjoy the fact that I didn't have many friends, because it was all either employees or contractors or investors. So it wasn't real friendships. And I felt really hollow, because I've built myself a golden cage. I've built myself a brand that was education brand, and I love that brand, but it was all based on this concept of financial freedom, and it was based on me doing what I was doing in property, and this was my identity. And what I did at that time is I started imagining. So what we've done at the beginning, where you imagine a different reality, was what I started imagining. And my dream to live in Australia came alive again, because that was always my dream. I was like, I ended up in a rainy country, because Aaron is from the UK. I hated it. I literally couldn't stand the weather, couldn't stand the class society, which felt really off for me, because I'm very equalitarian, and this is not my, I don't believe that anybody is born posh because you're born a human being. And it just didn't feel right. So I started imagining what my life would look like. And I persisted in this. I persisted. And it kind of worked. So I've gone through a metamorphosis. But at the start, it was only external. So I managed to manifest my way out of the UK, and an opportunity came to move to Australia on a very short notice. I took that opportunity, and it was amazing. I lived the life I manifested, and I was manifesting in many details. Like, I was manifesting how it feels like to wear a summer dress, which I'm wearing, by the way, now. I was manifesting what it feels like to be hanging washing on a line and not having to, run away from the rain. And it came true. I was living in a country I wanted to live, and it was all good. But what happened in the meantime was COVID hit, and our business completely crumbled away. We were highly leveraged, and the whole thing depended on banks refinancing our buildings from very expensive short-term finance to long-term finance. And because of the COVID, and because of the uncertainty around it, especially since we were running hospitality business, and tourism obviously took a massive hit, it all got stopped. The plug got pulled, and we knew we haven't had enough to repay all the business debts, and basically we had to close the doors, because we were ordered to, because everything was on a lockdown. And then the business crumbled. And this is when I entered this dark night of the soul, where, yes, certain things manifested in reality, and they were great, but it didn't quite work, because I was still wondering what the heck has gone wrong. So yes, I'm here living in paradise, but now I've lost physically everything that I worked for over the last decade. And not just that, but I've also faced false accusations, a lot of angry people. You can imagine when people lose money and investment, they will be angry, and that's absolutely understandable. And I was responsible for my business decisions and for failures. Friends turned on me. There was like almost an ex-business partner that lost a court case, started took the court onto an online forum and started smearing us. So it all just exploded like a grenade. But you know what? Everything like that happens for a reason. And all this darkness was like the chrysalis of change. It's when it's ugly, when it's messy, but when you discover at the rock bottom that you can actually build yourself up. And what happened was I started asking myself, what the heck has gone wrong? I'm manifesting. My mindset is good. So why have I just lost it? And not just that, but I didn't lose faith. I knew I was creator of my reality. I knew I was able to manifest. I've tasted that. And I've also already connected with my galactic team at that time. The Arcturians came to me literally saying, it's time. It's time. They came in a dream, and I've realized my star seeds origins. I've realized that I'm here for a bigger mission. But I was like, what can I do not to repeat these failures? I can't go through this pain ever again. Shame, guilt, all these negative emotions. So you wonder how it all happened? This is how. In order to transform from this ugly gray butterfly, or rather chrysalis, to a beautiful butterfly, quantum energetic tools was the secret sauce. It's not so secret. I'm going to tell you exactly what they are and exactly what I've done. But I must say, this is not a journey for faint-hearted. It is the most in-depth, energetic work you will ever do. Because there, right there at the rock bottom, you will face your fears, you will face your egos, but you will face your ancestral stuff, you will face things that you don't even know existed, but were really determining your reality. But there is a bit of solace in it. And in this process, you can do it in more grace. You can do it without waiting for crisis to happen. And sometimes I catch people on the edge of the burnout, where on the surface it all looks good. On the surface, it's perfect. You're keeping up the appearances. You have it all in control in 3D. But scratch under the surface, use some energy, and all the trauma and pain that you've been carried comes out. This is why the process of working with energetic tools can sometimes be really challenging. Think like ayahuasca on steroids, but not just for one night. Think about it over and over again. And no, you're not going to be vomiting, although that happens. With some of my clients, you can have physical sensations when you're clearing all these things. But it is the most amazing journey you can take. And what I want to tell you is the difference between energetic work and mindset coaching, and is the depth. Mindset focuses just on the positive stuff, on your belief systems, but what it doesn't really target is precisely where every small belief comes from. And they don't all come just from mysterious subconscious mind. Sometimes it comes from ancestral programming. And it's something that your grandmother has done that has rippled through the generations. Sometimes you have to go to your past lives and discover, for example, my thing where I've been very harshly judged and I've been almost like publicly lynched online. Where did it come from? Well, it came from one of my previous lives where I was an unjust judge. I was a corrupt judge. It was in 19th century in America. It was one of my past lives. And I was really like accusing innocent people and putting them in jail. So in this lifetime, I have experienced the opposite. That was my karma. And I wish I'd done that work before having to experience it. I wish I'd acknowledged that lesson, because you can resolve karma. You can resolve ancestral patterns without having to go through deep pain. And this is my message to you. Why wait for the crisis like mine to happen? Do it gracefully. And I want to explain something very important about manifestation. Why manifestation doesn't always bring lasting transformation. Because you may have little wins with manifesting. And let me know if you've been successful manifesting something. I have been many times. But sometimes it doesn't quite work overall. So sometimes I come across clients where they have wins in manifestations. For example, there is something which goes right, like, I don't know, they make a really good bunch of income, but then there's ebb and flow. And there's this energy kind of pendulum where there's no peace. So it goes right and then it goes wrong, or even worse. Yeah. So this is, I have manifested, but in most bizarre ways, I've been successful. So I'm not knocking manifestation, it works. And in fact, it worked for me. And without this initial bit of manifestation, I wouldn't be where I am. But I want to share with you a story that will show you how where are the limits of manifestation. And this is the story of my father. And my father was a football referee. That was his passion. And he started his career very late, because most lads who want to progress start at the age of maybe 20, 19. He started when he was 27. So the time was against him, but he was very determined to progress from like leagues to leagues, and he wanted to be better and better and better. So he went to this top sports coach that he could access to find some advice how he can improve his performance, because again, the age was against him. There were younger lads that were running faster, and as a referee, you constantly have to go through running tests and performance tests, etc. And the advice he got was very practical. The sports coach gave him those ankle weights like you see on this picture, and he said, okay, so for the next week, go running with those ankle boots, like ankle weights, and come back in a week, and we talk about measure your time, etc. So he did, and he came back, and then the coach said, okay, what do I do next, right? My dad asked. So I said, okay, this week you remove the ankle boots and you measure your time. And so my dad did, and he came back the following week, and obviously his times improved. And you know what the coach said to him? Look, Marek, if you want to be much better in what you're doing, what you need to do is you need to lose weight. My dad was a little bit on the chubbier side at this stage, because this you can see how removing those ankle weights improved your performance, but you have a lot more around your waist that is like ankle weights. This is what is slowing you down. And my dad actually then started losing weight and improved his nutrition, etc., etc. But the reason I'm sharing this story is that this is exactly how our manifestations and mindset works if our energy fields are full of clutter. So we're getting a bit of a head start, we're getting a bit somewhere, but it's like running with a really heavy backpack full of your ancestral trauma, karma, programming, mindset, belief system, societal grids, control grids. All of that junk is literally cluttering your field. So this is why you really don't need more manifestations and activations. The most profound shifts you ever going to experience, and the most profound shifts I've ever experienced, actually come from releasing and letting go of dysfunctional programs and grids is the most profound energetic work you can do. And I'm speaking from experience of someone who channels galactic energies. I can download codes for abundance, creativity, share them, and I do that. And that's all great. These codes work, they change your perception, change your reality, but they not substitute for working with releasing and unpacking this backpack. They can help you unpack this backpack. And this is what I want to share with you. So there's two types of energy work, two types of tools. You can work with light, and you can work also with light in the darkness. As you can see in this picture, you've got light penetrating into the darkness. And this is how often energetic upgrades and codes work. And this is what I'm going to share with you today. However, very often you will have to work in the darkness. And there is a difference between working in the darkness and working with the darkness. And I mean darkness, I mean those places where you have stuffed the pain and wounding, and maybe not even you as a soul, not you as Tatiana, Susanna, Virginia. No, you as a soul. Over the centuries, you've got unresolved pain and trauma. You as a representative of your ancestral field, because maybe your grandparents have gone through a war and lost a loved one and had never had time to grieve and didn't have the support network available. Maybe someone did something really nasty in your ancestral field. Maybe there's some, skeleton in the closet that you don't know of, and it's not your fault. But unless you clear it, it is your responsibility, it can slow you down. And working in the darkness or in the shadows goes beyond just your subconscious mind. It goes really all these layers deep. But there is a difference between working with the light, with love, with compassion in the darkness, which means sending forgiveness, learning the lessons, acknowledging the pain, rather than working with the darkness. So do not be afraid of working in the darkness. You still will work with light. The only thing that what we consider darkness or dark entities is actually anything and anyone that goes against the law of free will. People who work without permission, people who use energy to manipulate, people who use not just energy but anything to manipulate. That is true darkness. True darkness is bending people's free will. Whereas actually looking into your own shadows or darkness is nothing to be afraid of. In fact, it is absolutely necessary for you to actually grow spiritually and to actually enjoy the abundance. It's a little bit like in this picture of a tree. The energetic tools are twofold. So you've got the light, you've got the sun that is necessary for this tree to grow, because it needs sun, it needs nutrients, but it's also so important that the roots are healthy. Because if the roots aren't healthy, nothing's gonna grow on top. So, even if everything is good on top, if there is no soil or the soil has some disease or whatever, the tree is not going to grow. So in this way, the different quantum energetic tools work twofold. So we can work in the darkness, in the soil, because you know what quantum is? Darkness. It's this fertile darkness where everything is created from. It's like the womb. And we work with those tools where we look into our past lives, we look into our ancestry, we look beyond the physical realm for energetic patterns. This is the quantum work. It's working beyond the physical realm to look at energetic patterns. I'll give you an example. Let's say, okay, I'll give you an example from our own life. In our life and businesses, there was always a feast and famine pattern. So that happened when we were doing property. We would have great months and then it would just drain away. And we'd have big injections and it would just drain away. Then we had an online shop for a bit. And again, I remember when we did our record day, and I think we've done something like $30,000 in a day. And you know what? The next day, eBay shut our shop because it was suspicious. And before we kind of could open back up, it all kind of exploded. It wasn't, it took us so long to resolve it that the business kind of has gone. So this kind of pattern happened. And where did it come from? You think, oh yeah, it just happens. Or maybe it's the mindset, or maybe it's that. Well, it happened from the fact that Aaron's grandmother won a lottery. And the ancestral field learned that there is a big injection and to rely on that injection. And it learned that feast and famine flow. Similar thing happened to my business partner, who had a father who was an entrepreneur, and his business, again, grown very big, but he's lost his business twice. And what happened is the same thing happened in my ex-business partner's life. She lost her first business. It was going very well, and then it went bust. And then what happened afterwards was that she was making really big injections as a real estate agent, and then it was very, very low and very small. And it was like all these feast and famine. Same pattern as in my life, but different energetic reason. For us, it was the lottery win from the husband's ancestral field. For her, it was her dad's business failures. So we both have resolved all these problems now, but I'm going to show you that it's not one mindset work is not fit for all. You have to individually investigate what is the wounding, because the crown can be the same. So the crown of the tree is there is an uneven flow of income, but the root may be completely different. On one, it may be something that happened. For someone else, it may be something that, I don't know, their grandparents' property has been confiscated in the war, and something like that causes the block to abundance. So guys, my message to you is you have to get really intimate and introspective with your own energetic field and with your ancestors and with your soul. There is no one size fits all. So yes, there are energetic laws and tools, and I'm very passionate about teaching that. But the key to unlock the door to your abundance is specific and individual to you. And it's actually you going on this deep journey of chasing every pattern like an energetic Sherlock Holmes. You spot something on the surface of this leaf. There's some disease, or on the bark, something's cropped up, asking, hang on, let me follow all the way down to the root. Where is the root cause of that? This is quantum work. It's not some just magic upgrade. I'll touch on in a second. I'll explain all about how energetic codes and upgrades work because they're great. For me and for every person I work with, the greatest energetic shifts that translate to immediate changes in physical reality come from deactivating and from letting go. And this is another amazing thing about working with energy, which I have mentioned before, that the shifts are very immediate. So yesterday I had a session with an individual client. We fixed an energetic pattern that caused a block in her real estate business, and today she sold her first house for the last, I think, since December. So this is how it works. Working on mindset wouldn't instantaneously shift reality. It just doesn't happen like that, because we work in a different realm. And that non-physical realm, the quantum realm, is what creates physicality. So as soon as you fix the root, the surface comes back alive. So this is one difference. The other difference is in that precision and in the depth. But there is more to it. And the most amazing thing of working energetically is that the shifts are permanent. So you don't have to keep repeating affirmations. I am wealthy and abundant. I am wealthy and abundant. I'm healthy. My soulmate loves me. You know, you don't have to, because you embody it. And I'm not knocking affirmations. They can be very powerful. I use certain affirmations when I'm reprogramming people's energy fields. So, you know, I'm not knocking it, but it's not that you have to keep repeating it, because once you shift some blocks, the work is permanent. Mindset can change. So mindset, you know, you can tell yourself today that I am wealthy and abundant, and tomorrow your bank balance will drop to zero and you go into a panic mode. Or you can tell yourself that I am love, and you know, I am loved, and then your partner passes away or leaves, and you will shrink into feeling not loved or not supported. With energy work, it's the underlying patterns under what we've seen in physicality are like the fuel that fuels it up. It's like when you take those energetic patterns away, it's like extinguishing that source of fuel. So nothing fires up those belief systems, nothing fires up this mindset. So we're working right in the operating system. We're not working in the interface. We're working deep. And this is what's going to cause a permanent shift, because if you take the fuel out, it's not going to burn. And this is the beauty of energy work. So just to reiterate what it's all about, is activating your soul's essence, your highest expression, your most abundant, beautiful timeline, means deactivating layers of conditioning, stopping your full potential. That's it. Deactivating the layers, stopping your full potential. And yes, then you can be uploading and upgrading and coding. And in fact, you can do it hand by hand. My own transition from living where I live now in abundance, in happiness, in fullness, has come from doing both. Energetic work on deep purging of different patterns from all sorts of ancestors from my family line. It was unpacking this energetic inheritance. I'm going back and forth to the Akashic records, stripping all of that. But simultaneously, there was grace and there was beauty in galactic beings providing the sophisticated, refined, beautiful energy that was supporting this change. There were codes for creativity and abundance and courage and all sorts of beautiful upgrades. So it was working both. But let's start again with what layers do you need to deactivate? Just step by step by step by step. So you need to deactivate your own stories, limitations, and trauma. And when I mean trauma, I don't just mean childhood trauma, and I don't mean something really traumatic. So you don't have, of course, there are certain things that will cause deep layers of trauma, like being abused or being a victim of violence, or some negligence or poverty. These are serious traumatic events that can be worked through and can be released. And there's a lot of relief that happens when we use energetic tools to release those traumatic and painful events. But there's sometimes I see things like something that a teacher or a member of a family said to someone when they were in the teens, or something that a boss said to a 20 or 30-year-old person, and they're coming to me when they're in their 40s and 50s, and that still hurts. That's the belief system. That's still something that's holding them back from unlocking the layer of abundance. For example, they can't express themselves because they feel like they've been treated and put down, and that is not safe to express themselves because they've been knocked down. So sometimes it's, you know, it's not just trauma, meaning that you have been really hurt, like physically. Trauma can happen on many different levels, different types of wounds. So that's from your own life. You know, for me, I had to like let go and forgive and heal. Forgive myself for failing in business. Forgive other people for blaming me for failing in business. Forgive certain things that my parents did, even though they were beautiful parents. But we're not perfect, and we only lived up to our own potential. There was, even things like relationship breakups from when I was in my 20s, and and it doesn't matter now. Yeah, I've been married for 11 years, and it seems like some boyfriend from when I was 20. Why would that matter? Well, it did. It created some woundings, and sometimes those woundings, they not. One thing I want to also say to you about energetic patterns, they're not obvious. Once you start realizing how different energetic patterns can translate to different shifts in reality, you start to understand that they're very intricate. They loop like loopy loops. And it's not like, for example, that the fact that your grandparents were poor will automatically translate to a block in finance area. It may be actually, I'll give you an example from my own life. My grandmother fell pregnant with my grandfather at quite a young age. And that we're talking 1950s in Poland, very Catholic country. Sex before marriage. Who does that? That's a sin. And here is my very godly grandmother, who is a daughter of my very, very godly great grandmother, and she felt pregnant, and it's not an immaculate conception. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Well, what they did is my great grandfather was a serious man, a man of his word. He had a good business. He was well known in his community, and his son just impregnated my grandma. And he said, "Well, son, now you've got to marry this girl." So they got married at the age of 19. But guess what? My grandpa was the soul of a party. He didn't want to be a responsible father at the age of 19. So he partied, he drank, he had different lovers and different women. And as a result, because he constantly cheated on my gran, she felt undervalued. How did that translate to my life? Well, yes, there were instances where I felt undervalued. But for example, the biggest problem with our business was our buildings were constantly being downvalued and undervalued by different assessors when it came to like mortgage and lending, and ultimately that was one of the reasons where business failed. And you're thinking, hang on a second, undervalued this, that, how did you put it together? Well, I did. The ancestral field reveals it to us. And this is the intricacy and the beauty of energy work. You can learn it, but it comes from actually getting intimate with it, because it's not obvious. It's not always obvious. So here was a block in the relationship and family department that translated to block in finances. So this is how it works. But if you trace it, believe me, your ancestors are with you. Maybe you don't feel them, maybe you don't feel the connections, but they want you to heal. Because when you heal the family line forwards and backwards. You heal your descendants. So, you receive this energetic inheritance from your ancestors, but when you do the work, your kids and grandkids won't have the same thing. So what you do is you are blessed by them. They're waiting for you to do this work, and they will start speaking to you. They can start speaking to you in dreams. You have different prompts. There can be something that a smell will trigger a memory that is connected to some block. So I've had that a couple of weeks ago. I've cleared a lot of my ancestral trauma, but there's sometimes little blocks and deeper layers. And I was at a car mechanic. Our car broke down, needed a new engine, and the smell of it reminded me of my grandpa's workshop. And he was a driver. He was fixing cars. He died in a motor accident, and there was a big trauma and blockage connected to him dying in social circumstances. He was drink driving, and me then having a block meeting people. because it's almost like my family, whenever I traveled to meet someone, there was a block. Things would go wrong. And actually, I destroyed 2 vehicles in this way. Twice an engine broke down in 2 different cars, which were otherwise reliable. And twice it happened in the same circumstances when I was traveling to meet someone. And because my grandpa died as a 30-year-old, drink driving on motorbike, his family almost put like an energetic block or a curse that it's better not to travel, especially in the social circumstances, because a catastrophe will happen, because it was such a traumatic event. He left my dad 3-year-old, and my grandma was only 30, so things like that happen. So a smell of a workshop brought that all up. So your ancestors are with you, and they will be helping you unpick it if you are willing to do the work. So another thing that we're purging, I've talked a lot about ancestors, so I'm not going to give you any more examples of that, but this collective consciousness imprints and seals. Seals are like this energetic plates that are placed on us as humanity when we're born, and this is the ultimate hold of the system. And when we remove them, we literally set ourselves free. I can't talk much about seals in this transmission because this is such a powerful thing that every time I touch on the subject of seals, something happens energetically. I've had many times when we were doing work with the clients, with the quantum clubbers will remember that, where we have to literally set the highest degree of energetic protection to remove seals. But I want to talk to you about collective imprints, collective consciousness imprints. There's collective consciousness of the country. There's a collective consciousness of a place. And you can be plugged into collective consciousness. For example, very often it happens that people who migrated, and I've migrated many times, I migrated from Poland to the UK, UK to Australia, Australia to Costa Rica. And even when I lived in Australia, I was still under Polish collective mentality. And especially that was blocking my finances because I was always counting. I was always calculating. I was always like going for the cheapest option. And I don't know if any of you have that, where you're going for the cheapest option. So you're not going for what you want, but you're always checking the price of going for the cheapest. Well, that was my thing. And even when I was living in an abundant country, Lisa says yes. Yeah, that was me being plugged into collective consciousness of Poland. And even though I lived in Australia. So what I've done then is Aaron helped me unplug from it. And you do it all with respect. You do it with respect and actually, thanking collective consciousness of your country why this was. This was to help people survive. This was to help people. Same with family members. Maybe your grandparents lived with scarcity mindset, but scarcity mindset was good. It kept the roof over the head. Maybe they were hardworking, but that's good. It kept the roof over their heads. It kept food on the table. That was necessary. Maybe they stuffed their pain and trauma. It's okay. You recognize it. You acknowledge it. You work with respect, but yet you go in your own way. You release it because you know better. So in my case, I've unplugged from collective consciousness to Poland, plugged into Australia, because at that time I thought I'm going to stay there. But then when I was called to work on the grid in Costa Rica and had to leave Australia, I felt like it's time to disconnect from the collective consciousness of Australia, which was abundant. It's an abundant country with many resources, and it was beautiful. It served me at that time. But then I thought, well, I can't stay connected to Australia. So what do I connect to? And I'm thinking, Costa Rica is not the richest country. So I don't want to kind of go into, and I don't even know the mentality. I don't want to plug into Costa Rica. So I plugged into 5D abundance of new earth, serving me so far. So, there's different collective grid you can unplug and plug to. So that's another next layer of energetic work. And then there's past life karma and trauma. But this is not my area of expertise. This is Aaron, my husband. He's the Akashic Records expert. He works in the Akashic realm pretty much every day with his clients. And when there is some energetic blocks that cannot be pinpointed to your own stories, your ancestor stories, or collective consciousness, then the answer is usually, okay, if it's nothing obvious, then it's going to be past life. We need to go to the Akashic records, check what it is, and then do the same energetic process. So just to sum it all up, these are all the layers you need to deactivate. And this is not going to be possible. And if you try to do it in one day, it's not possible. It took us months of work. We've now put together a journey where we've condensed it to 12 weeks, but it is a very intense journey. There's an integration process of really resting your body, because all this stuff has to be also processed in your through your body, and the body needs rest, because sometimes when you're purging, it will knock you. So a lot of people who have sessions with me or Aaron, and Anika says I'm looking forward to my session with Aaron next week. Well, what can happen afterwards? You may feel very tired. You feel like a jet lag or like a hangover. And that often happens with any upgrades as well, because whenever you're putting something into your field or out of your field, your body needs to process that. If you're more accustomed to energy work, some people have an easier integration period, but some people have very, very, like the body is tired. I've also experienced people when they're purging energetically, and this is without any plant medicine, it's pure energy, that they have like, gastrointestinal things where they have to like, go to the bathroom very often, and it's not pleasant, or even they're being sick. So that can happen because this whole trauma is processed through your body. So it has to be, you couldn't do it in one day. It would fry your body and fry your field. But, I'm now have laid out all the purge work. So let's kind of go to something a bit nicer to wrap it up before the activation. There is the other side of this work. So as we're working here in this root, deactivating all these layers, we can also work here, giving this plant light, giving it water. And this is how galactic consciousness technology codes and energetic upgrades work. They work just like magic. So there's codes for creativity, for abundance, for inner healing. There is even codes to help you purging. There's codes of inner bitter medicine, we call them, Arcturian codes, which help you release all these layers that perhaps wouldn't have come up with some trigger. They're being released. It's almost like the field is being agitated just so it lets go. But most codes are codes for courage, codes for alignment. There's different, and when I say codes, they are just energetic upgrades. So think about it like, a software update on your computer where things start running faster, more efficient, maybe there's better things. So they work on your energy field to usher in new perception, new thoughts, new actions, and a new reality. So they can really help through this process. But at the same time, they're not substitute for all this inner work. But when you combine the two, so when you're deprogramming the old and reprogramming the new, this is where magic truly happens. So I've had many times when we talked about galactic consciousness technology. I might even do a live on it, because I want to lead you through the activation and I don't want to take any more of your times. But there are beautiful races available, like the Arcturians, like the Syrians, like the Pleiadians, the Lyrans. Some of them will be with us today in the activation. You will experience that. So rather than me talking about what it is like, I'm going to let you experience it. You just open your field and you let it permeate. And then the integration period happens, where you're observing that there are new thoughts. You're feeling different. Perhaps situations that were triggering you won't trigger you because something has been disabled in your field. So they are absolutely amazing energetic tools that I work with daily. I channel galactic technology in the form of so-called light language, so I channel it in the form of sound. My husband does it with the power of intention. Yesterday, I give you an example. We had a beautiful upgrade from the Orion beings in my monthly membership. So we've got weekly classes as a monthly membership called the Quantum Club, and we connected with Orions, and they masters of DNA. And members had beautiful questions, and a lot of them were about DNA and anti-aging. And we got codes for vibrancy, for anti-aging. And literally, technology exists about that. So that was completely surprised and unexpected. And, maybe you see my glow, but it just it wasn't to reverse aging. It was just to literally slow it down, to restore vibrancy to your DNA. Beautiful. So literally magic like that exists. That's what's available for you in the quantum field. But then one last thing before we go into the activation is the art of integration, the embodiment. And this is where, again, your own meditation, introspection, practice comes to play. And this is very important because we're going to go to a powerful activation where I'll be uploading the fifth dimensional codes and expansion to your field. I'm going to channel it in from the Lyran avian race, which are beautiful beings that look just humans, have the huge wings. I'm going to be using Arcturian frequency. I probably use Pleiadian frequency, which I didn't plan, but hopefully Pleiadian, if you don't mind. And I'll be connecting you with the original Lemurian grid, so you can feel the abundance of this planet on a different level. But the art is in the integration. The art is in the embodiment. Those beautiful codes that work just like magic still work in your field and in your body. And you need to hold this frequency. And being able to hold this frequency, this higher frequency, is a lot easier once you have unpacked all these layers in the backpack. So the more you deactivate things that no longer serve you, the more effective the energetic upgrades and codes are. It's an equivalent of, okay, I'll give you an example. This is my smoothie from this morning. Cake glass full of stuff. I mean, if I'm going to pour water into it, it's kind of half smoothie, half water. There's a difference between it. It's not going to be pure frequency. Whereas if that was completely a clean glass and not caked with pineapple or mango, then if I and let's say the pineapple and mango are the ancestral programs or whatever, this is half full. So yes, there will be some part that will hold the oats, and fantastic. It's better that there's at least half and not full glass cake. So there will be a mix of these frequencies. If it was a completely full glass, just literally stuffed with those three-dimensional grids and templates, etc., then there's only that much of water that you can pour in. And then, let's say I drink the smoothie and it's empty, and the clean, fresh frequency is full in this field. There's nothing to dilute it. So this is exactly how this works. So this is all interrelated. So let me know, guys, if you understand this, if you have any questions, because I want to take you into the activation. But before I take you to the activation, I want to make sure that everybody's still on board of this galactic spacecraft and we haven't lost any soul, and that we know what to expect in the activation. So if you have any questions at this stage, feel free to ask them. We've got a minute or two to make sure that you're ready for the activation. Makes perfect sense, says Annika. Oh, okay, so Diane, yes. Okay. Makes sense. Purging a lot these days, says Cosmo, making room. That's it, making room. Explained very well, thank you, Graham says. Fantastic. Okay, so a little bit of this high dimensional frequency mango and papaya, and get yourself comfy, guys, because we're going to an activation. A lot of fibers from pineapple. Maybe next time I remember my own metaphor and I have a glass of water. Usually have a glass of water, but today I've got a smoothie. But smoothie was very useful to explain making room, so I'm happy with that. Bloody fiber. So how this is gonna work is we will have some powerful energies from the Galactic Guide. So what's going to be very important for you guys? Oh, my beautiful husband manifested me a glass of water. Thank you so much, Ellen. That's better. But I'm not going to mix them together. See? Different frequency. So you guys, in this process, you have nothing to do. There may be bits to do afterwards when there will be new perceptions in the coming week or so, or days. Something might be floating to a surface. Then that's when you need to catch them. But in the process itself, all you need to do is open your field up to receive these frequencies that I'm going to channel in. And another thing that I'm going to guide you through is grounding to Mother Earth. I never met anybody who would have a problem of receiving too much Gaia energy. It's usually the other way around. So sometimes when we're not grounded, we also can have a problem with retaining the galactic energy. So what I'll get you to put your feet on the ground, and we're going to imagine this big root system coming in. In fact, let's get started. So put your feet on the floor, on the ground, and we're going to get started with you closing your eyes and imagining that there is roots coming down from your feet. So just imagine underneath your feet there are also chakras, and these energies are stretching all the way down. And what I want you to imagine is not just like a small root, like, I want you to imagine not just a deep root system. I want you to imagine a wide root system. So I want you to imagine these roots spreading wide. Now, with every breath in, you're drawing energy from Mother Earth, from Gaia. And with every breath out, you're sending your own energy into Mother Earth. Try this a few times. Every breath in, you're drawing energy in. And every breath out, you're sending energy out. This is what I want you to focus on as I call my galactic team to support us in this quantum expansion activation. So I have Arcturians, Pleiadians, Lyrans. I've got dragons protecting this whole field. And I also have the ancestral elders of people from this land where I'm stood on. And I've got the Lyrans. But we're going to start with Pleiadian frequency. As you ground yourself, I'm going to start by blasting your field with Pleiadian high dimensional frequency. It's going to come in the form of a channeled language, very high pitched, very fast. And it's going to be like an energetic jet wash and shower with the intention of washing everyone off in this frequency to make space for what's to come later with other upgrades. So if I can just request Pleiadians to channel the energy through me and through the language to every single soul in this gathering. And simultaneously, I'm requesting all the guides and all the ancestors to surround us with a circle of protection. So only energies of the light, only energies of beings that respect the law of free will are allowed in. No dark entity have space here. So here comes the Pleiadian. Breathe it in, breathe out, and let this energy permeate your field. It's cleansing it, it's letting it ready. So again, keep remembering the roots and grounding yourself to Mother Earth as all these galactic energies coming to your field. So next thing I'm going to ask is, I'm going to ask the Arcturians, my soul family, to step forward. And I request that your energy is the energy of expansion, security, and non-judgment. And that this energy is transmitted as I speak Arcturian language. So every soul here can feel the expansiveness, can feel what it feels like to live in unity, and what it feels like to live in abundance, just like you live in abundance, where every resource that they ever need is provided for them. So I'm requesting for this upgrade to their system so they can start feeling expansiveness, spaciousness, and ease. Open your fields up. This is going to come through your solar plexus. Kurumuhtuya hasa era huturu shemehia hasam enehia hamarehituru husu haramehtia ham era mahusu haseahu 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 hariasahu tutushuru. It's an upgrade to your confidence. So you're feeling safe and confident in the benevolent universe providing for every need as you walk in this path of ascension. Terachtuchuri barahela hemeniu husumera shukutiyahare 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 teramuhusuru tushu 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 tushu. So breathe it in, let it permeate your field, let it open up every cell in spaciousness. And we're going to take it up a notch. And I'm going to request my Lyran guys to step forward and show us a frequency of Lyran abundance, of what it feels like to feel free, like a bird, what it feels like to be flying, not waiting to trickle, but flying. This is the frequency of expansion, of lightness that I'm programming into this transmission. Nera kia monosuria da lateru sutia make, ne kurumena satia turu suturu siama, nero kulamari kia sukur mika kase, tera murasera turusure ni arama saretia kuruse karamare tia su, era taratia lumera tarasita kurumera, nera lesira kurukuna maletia sukurmea tara, era kurumena la sitara suru de sala kera, Rudu riudureia dalla carembino rusu rusu rusera teratuma nera seratuma nera seratuma nera seratuma recaracasito rukuru kurukuri amarata. This is like awaken your freedom, that you always follow your freedom, that you always follow the frequency of expansion, that you don't get yourself be caged into other people's expectations, to any grids. So you're feeling and you're following the direction of spaciousness, freedom. Thank you so much, Lyrans. I love your frequency. And then to wrap it all up and to calm your field down, but also to let you taste a frequency that comes from this very planet, from Earth, I'm going to request that Lemurians step forward. And that through your beautiful language and your beautiful frequency, we receive the frequency of peace and abundance from the Lemurian realm. and from what this earth once was, and from what this earth can be once more. Enama keneto sukamana ade keamana usu. Takesena ma ue ketamaseki amade kusumena neada asukume atake iama tu menisa atakia atasumana. Nema una esa ade ikakue, nema una satea tusune ina mana sea, tuma ena ane ita ua. Tuma ne to ame, tuma ea ase, kia kuama se te asumana, ne umea ase mi, ne umea ketea, umase te ama, mea tu usena, ase ina, ase u, kea mana usa ame, tue, tu amade, utuma. So just breathe in through your heart now and feel this frequency radiating from your heart. And what I want you to do, guys, is I want you to seal this transmission with a frequency of appreciation for your life, for the privilege of being on this planet, and anchoring those frequencies to where you are. I want you to radiate frequency. That's it. Just radiate it out. Radiate it out to all of humanity. There's abundance of this frequency. Let it permeate the grid of the planet. Beautiful, peaceful frequency of Lemuria. Expansive frequencies of Lyra. The Arcturian non-judgment, unity, abundance. That's it. There is enough for everyone. Just radiate it out. And simultaneously, I want you to send the frequency of gratitude, joy, and whatever elevated emotions you choose to beautiful beings of light that have joined us here today. That's it. Sealing this transmission and all these frequencies by sending thanks, just as I say thanks to from my heart into the heart of every collective, Arcturian, Lyran, Lemurian, Pleiadian, and all the other guides and beings of light that have joined me today, dragons who are holding space with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now what I want you to do is, as we close and as this energetic transmission is almost complete and coming to an end, I want you to come back to complete sovereignty, so that any energetic ties, bonds, or any links that have been created between us, either consciously or unconsciously, as a result of this transmission, are being dissolved, released, as every single soul comes back to utter sovereignty. So just imagine your energy field coming back to yourself, sealing in all this energy, disconnecting from anyone in the group, as you coming back to your full sovereignty. That was the Akashic language, just making sure that everything is cleaned up and tidy afterwards. With all that being said, you can start breathing in more dynamically, because maybe you've held your breath, I have. And you can start maybe moving your body if it feels right, taking more deep breaths. And whenever you're ready, come down to our meeting room, come down to your body, and let me know what it felt like to you as we're landing in your new timeline, in a shift in frequency. See lots of hearts and thank yous, and it was beautiful. Yeah, just let these energies permeate your field. They will start working on deep subconscious and energetic levels in divine ways, changing your perceptions to more unity, more spaciousness, more ease. Felt wonderful, says Nadine. Thank you, absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful, guys. I'm so happy that you have joined us today. Anders says, I feel grateful and happy. Thank you. It was wonderful. I'm really happy for every person who came here live to co-create it. But if you're watching on replay, it also works. And I want to also extend an invitation for you, for anybody who's ready for the deepest journey full of transformation. It may be enough for you to experience what you've experienced. It may be plenty. But if you are ready for the deepest journey of full transformation that is going to shed all the densities and unpack the backpack, maybe a sled that you dragging behind you, let me know, because we have prepared a beautiful journey for every soul that is ready for deeper layers of transformation, which will be really shedding all these layers and all these densities that are still perhaps working in your field. And this journey we have entitled Transcending Dimensions is a 12-week deep energetic process to transform your reality for full alignment, abundance, and flow. And let me tell you how it's been created, because everything in this offering has been channeled in. So it started off that up until now, our clients come to us for individual sessions to overcome various energetic limitations holding them back on the soul missions. So the sessions have been targeting specific blocks, whether it's income, whether it's some relationship thing, something karmic. It was an equivalent of, when something, let's say, I don't know, your sink starts leaking and we come and we fix the sink. Well, now these sessions have been very effective, but we want to go a step further, because we want to take you on a journey where we do a whole house renovation. So I give you some examples of our clients who, some of you may even be here. So Yuta said, after working with Aaron some trauma, I felt so much lighter after the session, and I'm happy and easygoing. In other words, I feel great, not even tired. Do you know what's funny? Since this afternoon, I don't think one time about anything from the past. It somehow faded away. This is magic of the quantum, and that was stuff that's been there for decades. Anna said about working with me. Thank you for our call yesterday. I had a huge shift, and that was a business session. Feel expansion within myself and receiving downloads for my next step in business. Yay, I felt lower density frequencies shift out of my body, and then I felt energy of higher frequencies, an upgrade yesterday. I'm even thinking different. Yeah, I feel really different, different, in alignment with my soul and soul's mission. You mentioned that I can speak light language without going into a meditation. This morning I did, and connected to my heart and spoke the light language and opened my eyes. And you're right, I could still speak it. It's still there. So yes, there's also upgrades that happen when you're doing the work. So light languages are one of them. There's another example of a shift that one of her clients experienced. That was Rebecca. Said within 2 days after session with Aaron, there was a newfound bounce in my step and sparkle in my perception. I felt powerful career vibes come back online. My energy has been potent. I've been more confident. And on a side note, I actually saw what I think was my own aura for the first time. To say the least, the dose of energy and protection was seriously magical. So as we work energetically, even when we're working through different purges, there's still upgrades available. And this is why we decided to put together Transcending Dimensions, because we've been called in to take a group of souls on a deeper, more comprehensive, immersive, guided experience, which doesn't target just one area that crops up when, a person books a session, but which deals with all the different layers. So you can step from the 3-dimensional limitations and into a higher dimensional flow of abundance and joy. So this journey is for you if you are committed to your ascension journey, because this is a journey for committed souls. It's not your mindset program. It's not just something you will, watch and be passive. This will be a very active, profound, deep work. If you're ready to fully heal, and I'm not talking physical healing, I'm talking healing your ancestry, healing emotionally. So literally nothing triggers you anymore because you have shed so many densities. If you're ready to let go of undesirable patterns and grids, and if you fired up about creating a life you truly desire, then we are here to support you, because we've been on this journey and we have gone through the exact same transformation, albeit under very dire circumstances. This journey has grace built in it. So it's going to be graceful. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be guided by beings of light. So this is how we do it. First, we're going to learn the mechanics of working with energy. So I explained a little bit about how we're doing it, but we're going to have a full day event to learn just that. And then we're going to work week by week for 2 weeks to deactivate the 3D grid control programs and activate 5D upgrades. Also, we're going to reconnect you with your unique soul's mission and your galactic support team. And you're going to land on the other side as an embodied version of your higher self. And the frequency we have programmed into this group is that every soul makes the full journey, that nobody is left behind, because this is going to be a deep process, and we definitely don't want anybody to go through just the purge and not the integration. So we're starting on the 7th of March with a full day event. We called it the base camp. There's going to be an opening ceremony where we're going to call in protection from various beings of light. And then we're going to go deep all day on different energetic laws of abundance and mechanics of energy work to prepare you for the journey ahead. So this journey is like an equivalent of a plant medicine retreat, only that you're not going to be off your head. You're going to be in your full conscious mind. You're not going to be, puking up and writhing on the jungle floor. You're going to be in your mental capacity, and you're going to be knowing exactly what's happening. And this is what the base camp is on. So yes, we're working with frequency, yes, we're working with energy, but we want you to be aware, be introspective, be sensitive to energy patterns that we're emerging during this 3-month journey. So you're going to get prepared, get ready, and also you're going to receive very powerful initial energetic activations that you'll be upgrading for the next, you'll be activating and you'll be integrating for the next 3 months. This journey is divided into 3 parts. Month 1, we entitled the descent. Month 2 is the ascension. Month 3 is the embodiment. And don't get me wrong, even throughout, you still be letting go and shedding densities, but the first month is when we're really going deep into descent, where we're going to shift past timelines, which means heal all these things from your past that perhaps drag like an energetic smell that you is lingering and that you are struggling to let go of. We're going to let go of it energetically, so you are covered in a beautiful new scent, new frequency. It can be past trauma, shame, guilt, whatever. We're deprogramming everything from this lifetime. Then we go layer deeper into ancestral patterns. Then we go a layer deeper, deprogram collective grids. Then we're going to go layer deeper, create your past life karma, go to the Akashic records, learn how to do it yourself over and over again. We're going to remove seals, which will be a very special transmission because it's so potent, and it's something that the architects of the matrix don't want people to have, because this is like the ultimate prisoners get out of the matrix free. So we call the deepest layers of protection so that we can remove the seals. And as I'm saying it, my ears are just going crazy. That's exactly what's going to happen. So this is going to be the purge. But like someone says, throw him up in the jungle. I'm glad that's out of the program. Yeah, that's not going to happen here. We're working with galactic frequencies, which are sophisticated, refined, beautiful, gentle. It's going to be gentle on your system. Even though it's going to be deep work, it's going to be beautiful work. But still, you're going to go through the purge, heal wounding and pain. Month number 2 is where we're going to start building you back up with energetic upgrades. With your field being much clearer, much lighter, we're going to connect you to your galactic team, activate your soul mission and blueprint, because yes, you have a unique job to do here on Earth. And we're going to really connect you with that. You're going to learn to channel from the quantum field. And this is what is absolutely important in this program. We want to guide you to your own sovereignty. We don't want you to become reliant on us like a crutch. We want you to know exactly how to channel your galactic team, how to upgrade and download the codes yourself. So you're going to receive a whole bunch of codes channeled through us. But we want you to have a sovereign, independent connection. So this is with you for life, not just for the duration of the program. So if you finish the program, come out the other end, much lighter, much more embodied as your higher self, you still can maintain. And if you even need to go through a process again to deactivate even more and go to your next level, you can do it as an independent sovereign being. Sovereignty is a part of this program. Month 3 is the embodiment, where we're gonna soak you in into 5D abundance template and money energy. Money is a beautiful energy, and in fact, money is invited to this program. So we've actually set an intention that everybody who joins this program makes their investment back many times fold, because money energy is going to be present and 5D abundance template will be present. We're going to show you how to have a soul-powered career in whatever you do. And it doesn't mean that you have to dump everything behind and become a yoga teacher or spiritual healer or anything like that. We've got people from all walks of life who are our clients. They sometimes work in very physical professions, and we need them in New Earth as well. So we're going to show you how to power this career and this path from your soul that is an aligned path of joy and abundance. You're going to receive Lemurian, Atlantean, and Mayan activations to connect to the wisdom, not just from the galactics, but also from this planet. And we're going to finish by doing what will set you for the next few months, in fact, for life, embodying your higher self. So your connection with your soul and your higher self is super, super strong. Your intuition is strong. You know exactly how it feels like to be guided and supported. So this program's been months in the making, and we're super excited to bring it in. Just to sum it up, you'll participate in a full-day live event to kickstart your transformation journey. There will be 12 live quantum instruction sessions with both myself and Aaron. There will be 12 live group coaching sessions with myself. We're going to go into a Zoom room. You can come on video, and this will be your integration process. So if you like having any doubts, something is coming up, I'll be able to offer you support that I normally offer just one-to-one, but in our small, intimate group setting, which, by the way, that group in itself is a part of this program, a support network of souls who are committed to the same journey. And it's something that is literally like a vortex of energy programmed in it, so everybody comes out light at the other end. You're going to get powerful channeled energetic upgrades and activations directly to your field by our galactic team. You know exactly what we're upgrading, so there's nothing going to be done like behind the scenes. No. The only thing that is done is that the whole intention and frequency program into this program is that as soon as you join, the purge and the energetic upgrades already starting. So, you know, when you're ready, as soon as you set the intention, you entering this powerful vessel. In fact, the program is like a crystal. That's how we've created it in a quantum field. And the crystal is open for everybody to connect to and to experience this transformation. You're going to get lifetime access to your recordings and a personal support from myself and Aaron in a private group. So it's not going to be any coach. There's nobody else. It's me and Aaron, direct line to us. every question is answered by us personally, and you get this level of support. This is the first time we're running this program. The price we can put on this transformation, well, actually, there is no price we can put on this transformation because it's life-changing. But we decided that this investment will be $4,444 US dollars, $4,444 US dollars when we're running it in the future. We're planning to repeat this journey in 12 months' time, perhaps in 6 months' time. But because this is the first time we're doing it, we have an introductory offer of $2,222. If you wish to reserve your spot, you can do so for $444 today. There's limited spots available. The group is already forming. We've got some beautiful souls that have joined us. And it will need to be paid in full before the journey starts, because our intention is that the journey is taken from the start to the end. So only commit if you fully committed time, energy, and money-wise. And you need to feel good about it. So if your whole body is feeling good, you may feel a bit nervous, that's okay. But just tune into your heart whether this is the journey you want to take. If you do so, we welcome you with open hearts, with our full support. But what we want you to do is we want you to join if you truly feel called to it, if it feels right to you, if you're not kind of feeling, oh my God, what's this gonna involve? Is it gonna be too much? If you're fully committed to your transformation journey, please join. There's a big green button at the top where you can find out more about it. And I just want to answer some questions. Cosmos and my ears are going red too. Is this like having full light bodies activation? So, this is not going to be just some quantum light bodies activation. I think what we're dealing with here is deprogramming the three-dimensional matrix and grid. And yes, this will result in your quantum transformation. But I personally believe that embodying fifth dimensional consciousness is more than just some light activations, body activations. This is something that, Buddhist monks practice for years. And what I see that there is a lot of people who have been in the spiritual journey very much open through the upper chakras and pursuing all these, light bodies and this and that. And it's all amazing. I work with galactic energy. But as long as you still have ancestral junks, past life trauma, past life karma, collective grids, religious grids running the show in the background, then how effective your light body activations are going to be. So here, we're laying the foundations for it. And yes, with time, you can activate whatever you want. The quantum universe is full of wonders. You can build yourself a palace, you can build yourself a house, you can build yourself layers of protection, light bodies, whatever you want. But we need to start with deactivating. And my whole message throughout this journey is that yes, it's beautiful, all these energetic upgrades. You're going to receive all of that. You're going to be in a potent frequency vortex. But also the big thing is deprogramming anything anchoring you to the three-dimensional grids of power and control. Susa, thank you so much. Ria, your activation started 11:11 my time zone. That's amazing. Beautiful activation. Okay. Just wanted to say that we also have an individually guided option of this journey. So apart from all the participation live event and 24 group sessions, you can have access to all our programs to date, such as the Light Language course, the Akashic Records course, the Quantum Club 12-month membership, 6 individual sessions with myself and Aaron, and personal support with us throughout the process, including access to our private phone numbers. This is a more of a premium option with a larger investment required. However, should you wish to be personally supported by us, there is an application form. You can fill it in. We can have a consultation. We can tailor this journey to you and what you need, and we can speak about that with you. So if you feel called to this journey, please come on board. I'll be very, very happy to assist you in purging the three-dimensional limitations to move into full fifth-dimensional abundance. If you have any other questions, especially about the Transcending Dimension journey, please let me know in the chat. If not, I will be wrapping up this beautiful event, thanking again all the souls that have joined us here live, as well as all the beings of light that have co-created this event with us. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us privately on any of the social media channels or by email. We'll be very, very happy to assist you on this beautiful journey. I'm wishing you beautiful unfolding and beautiful integration, and I'm sending you all of love. Heather says all that you offer and so openly share with us is greatly appreciated and loved. Thank you so much, Heather. Sending you lots of love. Susie says so much resonance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Someone said speechless. It's my absolute pleasure and honor. Take time to integrate, ground yourself, and sending you so much love from Costa Rica. Bye-bye.